Shoe prep update, 10 weeks into my photo shoot prep and I'm 7 kg down. So I haven't done one of these in a couple of weeks and I thought I would give you a bit of a run through on how my photo shoot prep's been going. But first of all, I thought I would share with you a little bit about who I am. I am Tom. I've been an online coach for the last 7 years, taking people from unconfident in the gym to not knowing what to do, to losing 1 to 3 stone of body fat, feeling confident, getting into the shape of their life, and overall feeling amazing day to day. If you need more help with fat loss straight away, join my free 30-day Fat Loss Kickstart. The link is in the description of this video. So let me give you an update on how the week went. Okay, so the last couple of weeks have went. So 2 weeks ago, I had maybe the world's shittest week ever when it comes to fat loss and all that sort of stuff, right? So I fell off plan one day. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that in 1 second. But basically, just to set the scene, I live in the UK, in Belfast. The weather was off, or the weather was awful. The weather was really good. It was boiling, and my sleep was terrible. I was run down. I was working too much each day, so I was up early and going to bed very late in the gym. And basically, I cracked on a Tuesday night. I was staying at my girlfriend's house, and she had M&S cookies. Not the ones from the bakery, but ones that were similar enough, kind of packaged ones. I'll put them on the screen of what they were. And I ended up eating 1,000 calories of cookies because the food was there. And I just couldn't not eat them. For some reason, I got stuck in my mind that I had to eat these cookies, and I felt terrible as a result. So I basically maintained weight throughout that week. I didn't lose any weight. I had a stern check-in with my coach, and I'd already lost 6 kg at this point, right? So it was going relatively well, but I was still coasting. I said to him, look, I messed up one time in the week. I thought to myself, I should still be losing weight. And he said to me something that was really interesting. Well, relatively interesting, kind of a bit of a bummer when I heard it initially. Was no wonder you haven't lost weight this week, right? Your steps have been lower than they're meant to be. I'm trying to get to around 12k steps per day, and I was getting like 7 or 8k in because I was run down and tired. My sleep's been shit. I went over my calories by 3 or 4 days. So no wonder you've not lost weight. And you also binged on one day and you ate a full packet of cookies. So he says you need to really step things up. And that's what I did. So for the past week, the calories have been dropped by about 200 per day. I've been smashing out 15 or 16k steps. And as a result, I'm at my lowest weight yet. 0.8 kg down in the past week. I'm now in the 79 kg territory. As of today, I'm 79.4 kg. Or basically the weight I was at end of last week was 79.7. So I basically had lost 0.8 kg from that point, and I've lost 1.2 kg total from the last point of messing up. And the moral of the story here, guys, is like, you're gonna mess up, right? It's human nature. You're gonna make these mistakes. But I was making a lot of mistakes outside of just the mess up with my calories and my cookies. And sometimes you need to kind of set your ego to the side and realize that you're messing up more than you think you are. I feel like I thought I wasn't doing too much damage, and I thought the 1,000 calories over wouldn't make much of a big deal, but it did. It made a massive difference, right? And it's also the mindset of one, having that food in the house, which you should not do, but it's also the mindset of letting myself get to the point where I'm like, right, I might just eat this food here. So it was maybe not eating the right meals, right? So I was bored of my diet at that point, and I hadn't changed up my diet for a while. So it's having a variety of meals to eat every single day. But it's also, and like I said, it's about having the food environment, but it's also accepting the fact that you need to not let those thoughts enter your head. You're going to feel hungry. You're going to think yourself, right, I want to eat donuts or cookies or something right now. But you need to almost push that to the side, especially when you're in photo shoot prep. I've got 11 weeks left to go. And I want to lose about, like I said, around the mid 79 kg mark right now. I want to get down to 72 kg. Now, obviously, you would have seen my progress photos on the screen. You probably are like, why would you get down to 72? It's because I will be as lean as possible for the photo shoot. And if I want to be that lean, then I need to set these standards in place now. I need to make my food higher volume, so I'm less hungry day to day. I need to sort out my food environment, so I'm surrounded by less food I can't eat. And I also need to sort out the kind of mindset around eating. where I need to accept I need to make sacrifices now with regards to the foods I'm having, right? So there's no room for me to eat junk food. And also, like, there might be a bit of room for me to add in like a bit of chocolate or whatever on like the weekend, because I've got like one refeed day, but you're better off not doing that whatsoever in my mind. And as my coach says too, the more you let yourself slip kind of small things into your diet, the harder it gets with regards to sticking to the plan. And the more you want that sort of food, right? So if you say to yourself, oh, I'll just eat that bag of Haribo, it's 500 calories, but I'll stick into my calories and I'm good to go, and that'll kind of sort all my cravings out. But that's not what happens. What happens is you have that Haribo, and it doesn't do too much for you. In fact, it actually maybe does the opposite, because it makes you realize that wasn't a very filling food, and it just makes you more hungry. It doesn't do anything for your cravings. And then the next day, you're like, right, I want to eat another bag of Haribo. It doesn't necessarily fix the cravings that you have. In fact, it might actually exacerbate it or make it slightly worse. So you need to almost cut that sort of stuff out, because cutting that sort of stuff out will be the thing you maybe need in order to have the higher standards and basically get to your goals. I just want to finish on this point, because this is a point that I can relate to massively, right? But it's also a point I can relate to with every client I coach, right? When it comes to losing body fat or even doing like a gaining phase or whatever, you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna make mistakes, but people that don't own up to the mistakes they make, and people that make one mistake and then they fall off plan for good, those are the people that never get long-lasting results. It's all fine and well losing fat for a 10-week period, but if you can't maintain these results, it's pointless even trying in the first place. What you need to think about it is you're going to accept that you're going to make mistakes along the way. You obviously don't want to make those mistakes, but they're going to happen one way or another. You might be at a party, you might be at some sort of social event, or you could even just be in the house and there's a family gathering or whatever, right? So you mess up, that's okay, that's completely normal. Now let's look at the mistakes you made and how you can fix those mistakes. Now, if you're not in a super stringent cut like I'm in, you can have kind of more room to wiggle it or to kind of fit in foods that you enjoy, and that's fine. But for me, I don't have that room, right? So if you're in my position right now, if you do make a mistake, you need to work out what caused you to make that mistake and how to fix it. So like an update on my food, for instance, from now on for my diet, my hunger's at an all-time low now. One, because I fixed the mindset, but two, because of the fact that I've changed up my food. And I'm going to put up the satiety scale on the screen now. I've added in a lot of potatoes into my diet, which is the most filling carb source, and that's for sure helped with hunger cravings and stuff like that. So I've added in more foods that I would deem as like kind of almost, first of all, basically foods I would eat outside of the diet. And I've made it a little bit more enjoyable for myself, from having like making my own chips and stuff at night. And that's the sort of thing that's really made a difference for me in these last couple of weeks. So make sure you own up to the mistakes you make. I don't mean you don't have to go around telling everyone you're making all these mistakes. I just mean own up in the sense of mentally own up. Okay, I made this mistake this week. Here's what I'm going to do to fix it. And this is going to lend itself to help you in any really area of life, I guess. But as far as the diet is concerned, it's a massive, massive issue I see people make. And if you fall off track for good based off of one mistake, you're really not doing things right. You're going to mess up along the way, and you can fix those mess ups by just improving on the weak areas you have. So I hope you got value from this video, going over kind of the mistakes I made and all that sort of stuff, and things I'm going to change moving forward. And if you want to follow me on Instagram at Tom Wilson PT for more tips like this, going over fat loss and also muscle building, work away. The link to that is in the description of the video. And if you also want to join my 30-day free fat loss challenge with the goal is to lose around 2 kg of body fat and learn the mechanics of training and all that sort of stuff to get the ball rolling with your own journey in fat loss, then click the link to that in the description. Have a good day and tell me if this helps.